So the shit that Mitch McConnell has came out and said, privately but publicly now, is so appalling and so ridiculous. I don't see how the fuck anybody could survive what the fuck he did. It took Mitt Romney, right? That's his 47% moment. It took Mitt Romney down, right? And the shit that Mitch McConnell says is even worse. He's kissing the Koch brothers' ass. He's kissing a lobbyist's ass. He cares more about corporations and the big bankers and the financial industry than what he does Kentucky working class families. He doesn't give a shit about the average Kentucky voter. He doesn't care about Kentucky. He doesn't give a shit about our state. He's been using our state. He cares more about the Republican Party than what he does about our state. And he's been able to bring in some earmarks and some other like small shit, but I don't know what the fuck he's actually done in the 30 years that he's been in office. Walter Dee Huddleson, he was in there, and we had, I'm going to read some of the bills actually that Walter Dee Huddleson was introducing to let you know what type of things Kentucky was talking about 30 years ago, okay? So we haven't talked about any of the, basically Mitch McConnell got elected. What Mitch McConnell is going to be known for, his legacy, is he's the attack fucking piece of shit. He shows that politics is dirty and disgusting, and unfortunately that shit works. He got in office by attacking Walter Dee Huddleston. This year he's attacking Ashley Judd and basically everybody in Kentucky that might have been able to run against him, that might have been talked in hushed whispers that was going to run against him. He attacked them all, right? He said, fuck them all. He says Ashley Judd's a Hollywood liberal. Meanwhile, he's in California sucking corporate dick, sucking Coke dick, right? He's addicted to Coke. He loves the fucking Coke, and he loves sucking the Coke's dick. So that's Mitch McConnell. That's who the fuck we are. As a state, this is a person that we've been putting in the fucking office for 30 fucking years. The poorest part of all of America is in Appalachia. So that's the trailer park of all of America is in Appalachia, sitting on coal country. These two assholes, Allison Lundergan Grimes and Mitch McConnell, both are sitting there saying that they care about Kentucky coal and Kentucky coal miners and working class families and shit, but Letcher County has, most of Letcher County doesn't have running water. You don't give a fuck about Kentucky families. They don't even have running water. So they can't drink tap water. They can't have, just take a bath. Every little, drop of water is so important. Everybody's splashing water on themselves. Appalachia, they don't get that type of luxury. It's, third world country type of standards out there. And they're living in coal country. So even the one issue that these two asses are talking about, they're not even doing a good job with. Let's talk more about this Mitch McConnell tape, okay? So he's at this private meeting with the Koch brothers, and he's kissing the Koch brothers' ass, saying, thank you, Koch brothers. You all been doing so much for, America and everything else. Love Koch brothers and everything that you're talking about. Love your money and love your corporations and your banks, Fuck these damn Kentuckians. They want a minimum wage increase. Fuck those damn Kentuckians who want a minimum wage increase. In fact, I think Kentuckians should be paid even less of a wage. Fuck the minimum wage. Let's start paying Kentucky at $1 to $3 an hour. At the most, $3 an hour. So that's Mitch McConnell. Then he's talking about student loans. He's like, and then they're fucking passing student loans. They don't know what they're talking. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Okay, so he's against Kentucky students. Fuck the Kentucky students. Fuck the Kentucky poor people that, are at minimum wage. You don't talk about Kentucky coal miner jobs. There's more Kentuckians that are in fast food industry jobs than there are in the coal mines. Less than 1% of the workforce is in the coal mines. And that's 19,000 jobs out of 4 million people. There's way, yes, we need to care about coal miners, right, in solidarity with them, with the unions. Fuck the coal company operators and the owners. Those bastards. We don't need massa on the plantation. When it comes to the plantation, who runs the damn plantation? It's the fucking slaves. What does massa do? He sits on the fucking porch drinking a goddamn lemonade with his pinky fucking stuck out, acting like he's better than everybody, because why? He knows how to give somebody an order. It's not that hard, hey, go do that. Hey boy, go pick that up, right? That's not fucking hard to do. In fact, he's a lazy piece of shit. He's the one that's oppressing everybody, and he's taking everybody's fucking shit. He's exploiting everybody's labor. Throw the boss man out, and then everything that you pick is yours. All your labor you own. So if you pick a bushel of tomatoes, instead of, Massa giving you 5 tomatoes back and saying, hey, thanks for picking, all the bushel for me, you get to keep the entire fucking bushel and you profit off the entire thing. That's the way it should be. Either when it comes to Kentucky coal, we need to nationalize it or socialize it. Socialize it, let the workers run the mines, or nationalize it, get the government to take ownership over Kentucky coal. And then we could just sit on it, use it as an investment for our own state. We could also have dirt cheap electricity, and any money that we make off of it, we could reinvest in ourselves, in our education, our infrastructure, and our technology, research development, job creation, whatever a working class progressive government would come up with. So he's sitting there talking in California. This is June 2014. So Mitch McConnell just recently is doing this. This isn't like some old tape that just was unearthed. This is him talking now. So he's going around the country now getting all this damn money, and he's getting all the damn money by saying, okay, look, I'm going to fuck over Kentuckians, right? Fuck the minimum wage. Who gives a shit about them? If they're unemployed, fuck them bastards. If they're unemployed, we want to force them back into the fucking workforce, even if it's for $1 or $3 an hour. So fuck the minimum wage, fuck unemployment, force the workers to be slaves for these corporate paymasters, fuck the student loans, because you don't want to give the slaves some fanciful notion that they could actually break out of their slave jobs. Kentucky, for Mitch McConnell, is just Haiti. So he just wants to take all the resources for the corporations, use the people that's in Kentucky as cheap fucking laborers for the goddamn corporate paid masters. That's what he wants to do. So that's he only gives a fuck about personal power. He doesn't care about hurting Kentucky voters, the average Kentucky person, or the working class families. And he's sitting there, he doesn't want to discuss these issues, all right? The student loans, unemployment, minimum wage, those gosh darn issues, he's all pissed off about it. But ultimately, what he wants to do, his agenda, is that he owns the budget. Since he controls, the minority, he's the minority leader in the Senate, so he controls half of the Senate. And the House and the Senate control the budget. So that means he's got a substantial amount of say-so what goes in the budget. And he's going to put a rider on each bill. And I guess a rider is basically saying, you can only have this dollar if you spend it the way I want you to spend it. Well, we passed a budget for all the health care. If you're going to put riders on all the bills, basically he's going to stall government. And he's going to shut it. The government down. So I guess that's something we could say that Mitch McConnell is good for, right? He did something Osama bin Laden couldn't do. He got the government of America to shut down while we had military troops out in the fields, right? He shut the entire fucking government down. Who gives a fuck about the people in the parks, the post offices, right? So anybody that was employed by the federal government, he didn't give a shit about, right? Fuck the entire military, right? They was just left out there with their own resources, really. But that's all. That's how all of us are anyways. But he's talking about putting the riders on the bill. So the agenda that Mitch McConnell is going to be putting for America, for Kentucky, he's going to stop Obamacare, which we've known that for a long ass time, but he's going to still fuck with them, right? He's still going to fuck with Obamacare. Even he's going to press on, even, he's lost 50 fucking times, but he's going to bring another fucking issue. He's made it his life fucking issue about how Obamacare is going to destroy everything. Recently, he says that if you got Obamacare now that you wouldn't lose it. Bullshit. Motherfucker's lying, okay? So, now all of a sudden he loves Obamacare, right? So, yeah, right, get the fuck out of here. He also talked about the EPA. So he's going to put riders on the bill when it comes to the EPA legislation, healthcare legislation, and financial services. So, banking legislation. The EPA healthcare, I think, is expected, but still, I think it's the opposite issue of where Kentuckians should be. Kentuckians like the sickest, most obese, poor teeth, poor mental health, bad, not exercise, heart attacks, a lot of shit that's happened, lots of cancer. So they need health care. They need Obamacare. If there's any fucking state out here that needs Obamacare, it's fucking Kentucky. EPA, they're the ones that say we don't want sulfuric acid out in the fucking clouds. We don't want the coal companies polluting all the damn streams and shit. And we shouldn't have that type of stuff. So, that's... Kentucky is beautiful. It's a Garden of Eden. There's trees, there's streams, there's hills and mountainsides. We should protect Kentucky, so make it a tourist trap, right? Make people come here, admire the beauty, but also come in and spend some money in our towns. We should make it a tourist stop. We should make it a tourist fucking wonderland. We got all the resources. We just got to, beautify it and make it look beautiful and make it look nice. So that wouldn't be hard to do. I think actually that's something that the future governor could do, make this a big tourist state. We've got trails, we got forest. There's so much shit we could do with Kentucky. So when it comes to protecting the environment, yeah, we should be protecting the environment. When it comes to healthcare, yeah, we should have some healthcare. And then the biggest fucking thorn in my side, Mitch McConnell admitted that he's against financial services. So fuck financial services. The bankers don't have any regulations and don't give any fucking advice out to the damn, average working class Kentucky voters and families. Fuck the working class families. That's what Mitch McConnell is saying, bigger than any fucking thing whatsoever. Talk about class warfare. Mitch McConnell's been declaring class warfare against Kentucky since 1984. Talk about George Orwell. That's very Orwellian. Kentucky went downhill in 1984 when Walter D. Huddleston lost the Senate. When Walter D. Huddleston lost the Senate, we start talking about progressive issues, and we just started being a hate-filled fucking, a bunch of millionaire dick suckers, a bunch of corporate lobbyist millionaire dick suckers, just like Mitch McConnell. 1984, that's also Ronald Reagan fired the fucking air traffic controllers. There's no unions, solidarity. I mean, we got so many other issues, and they're only talking about coal. That's all they're fucking talking about. So we got, Kentucky has got, we have a cornucopia of problems. We got problems on top of problems, so we got lots of fucking issues that we need to be discussing. And they're only talking about coal, and now we have all this other fucking distraction. Now we're talking about some real issues. Mitch McConnell, he says he's all about the bankers, right? Iceland, they fired the bankers and then give the money to the people in the houses. America, we said fuck the working class families in the houses and then give all $700 billion to the banks. So that's that's what he wants. He wants that shit to happen. He does not want the regulation to happen. In 2008, we almost blew up the world. So the 2008 recession, because America is so integral to the entire world's economy, since we went into a recession, the entire world almost nearly fucking collapsed. So that scared the world. China and Russia is now trading with each other without the American dollar. So that scared the entire world. So why should we be based upon this fucking American dollar if America could fail? So we about blew up the world, but if you look around America, it doesn't change America, right? A war doesn't change what America does. It's still everybody goes to work, does this, stupid jokes, hey, what's this, what's that? Shut up. It's war doesn't change America. Fucking recessions didn't change America. It's still basically the same shit, same day in, day out fucking bullshit. And we are a democracy, so there's so many things that we could be talking about and having a better type of water cooler discussions. Democratic discussions should be so average, it should be commonplace. So he's sucking Koch brothers out in California's dick, right? That's Mitch McConnell. He's looking like he's going to shut the government down so the bankers can run roughshod over the Kentucky working class families. EPA, fuck the environment, fuck the health of the Kentucky people. Make sure they work for dirt wages, less than minimum wage. The student loans, fuck the students. He's against education. Why don't you want the slaves to be educated? Because if you start educating the slaves, they might realize they're a fucking slave and they might not like that shit. So they're against education. They just want you to be educated enough to where you can run the machines and fill out the paperwork, but stupid enough to accept all the fucking bullshit they throw at you. The vanishing pensions and the end of overtime and the fucking lack of benefits. So he's for government shutdown. He's for he's against basically if it's for working class families, he's against it, right? McCain-Feingold. There's two more interesting things that he said in this video. He said that when the McCain-Feingold bill passed, that was the worst day of his political career. 9/11 wasn't the worst day, right? It wasn't 2008 recession. It wasn't any, I guess the collapse of the Soviet empire. I don't know, the worst day of his career. I'm just saying from 1984 to 2014, the worst day of his career was when the politicians started to be regulated with the money that they could get from the fucking rich millionaires. The worst day of his political career was McCain-Feingold, because now he couldn't just accept a bunch of fucking $1 million from all these big ass rich corporate paymasters and just not give a fuck about who is paying attention to who's in his coffers. McCain's gone from working class, basically was poor man when he fucking got into politics. Now he's like a fucking trillionaire, right? So he's been able to make billions of dollars. Says fuck the average Kentuckians, no minimum wage for them, but he gets all the fucking money. Student loans, fuck the students. Let's help the banks out. Fuck the environment. Fuck your health. Let's make sure that the corporate lobbyists have all the power. So the McCain-Feingold was the worst day of his career. So of course he's going to be in favor of Citizens United. He wants all that fucking money. It's $100 million is what's going to be going into Kentucky's Senate campaign. When actually Kentucky, every election is up for, everything in Kentucky is actually up for election. So the sheriff, the judge executives, the coroner, a lot of judges and a lot of state representatives, every county position is up for re-election every 4 years, and this is one of those big ass 4 years. So the Senate election is one of the boringest elections, but nationally people are paying attention to it. So we could actually get some real conversation and real discussion about what our country is doing, what our state is doing, what can we do to better our country and better our state. So the last thing is he was excited about running on Ron Paul's campaign. They was able to buy Jesse Benton, so Ron Paul, his fucking campaign manager sold out, but I guess he was able to make some money, but he was making $10 and $5 donations from Ron Paul's campaign because Ron Paul was the revolution, so a lot of poor people wanted to help Ron Paul. Unfortunately, Mitch McConnell's a rich-ass fucking dick fucker, you can fucking dick or whatever, but he's a piece of shit. The reference, it has nothing to do with the sex. It has only to do with the hierarchy. And he's saying that his massa, the man he listens to, is not, he don't give a fuck about Kentucky voters or Kentucky workers. or working families. He cares about the fucking lobbyists and the corporate paymasters. That's who Mitch McConnell has been fighting for the last 30 fucking years. There it is on tape. It's out there for everybody to know. He makes no bones about it. He's talking about 3 fucking months ago. He was talking about this shit. So, you know, that's our fucking senator. It's fucking Kentucky senator. And, you know, I'm not exactly excited about it. I'm not exactly happy about this shit. The biggest issue that they talk about is coal mining. They don't even talk about that issue, right? So I said nationalize it or socialize it. Well, let's look at some of the stats in Kentucky. So we got 442 coal mines, right? So we got about 500 or so coal mines, and then the amount that has been extracted, 2001, over 8 billion tons of coal have been extracted from Kentucky, and then about 6 billion tons been extracted from eastern Kentucky and 3 from western Kentucky, right? We got 2 different coal fields, but as of 2004, only 13% of the western coal fields have been extracted, and then 19% have been extracted from the eastern coal fields. So that means over 80% of our coal is still in Kentucky's earth. It's still underground. Unfortunately, the corporations don't find it profitable to get the technology to dig deep enough to get to this, you know, sulfuric fucking ridden dirty coal to get it out of it and to be able to sell it to where it's profitable, so they're not even trying. This is another reason why we should nationalize it. If the state had it, then we could, you know, invest in that technology, and we could just sit on our coal ourselves and just sit on the coal for the rest of, you know, our days. And when the entire fucking world's crumbling, at least we got energy because we was able to hold on to the coal. It's our coal, especially a commonwealth, but it's common poverty. Instead of holding on to all of our fucking poverty, let's use government so we can get commonwealth. That's the idea of a commonwealth. So the idea would be government for working class families, get a hold of that coal and get us some fucking free electricity. And the 80%, you know, in eastern Kentucky is still there. 87% of western coal is still there. So we got plenty of coal in the ground, just too deep for the fucking corporations, these king coal corporations, for 30 years. You know, Frankfurt, Mitch McConnell been sucking these fuckers' dicks. Is it helping? Is it helping Kentucky to, you know, just give all due deference to these fucking rich assholes that didn't give a shit? They almost blew up the fucking world because they didn't give a shit about, you know, speculation and buying and selling fucking over lots of working families and making them lose their houses. So that's why they almost fucked up. You know, they need to be regulated because they fucked up over nearly everything. And they also need to be regulated because if they're too big to fail, then that means they're not even capitalistic. They're socialistic. Let those motherfuckers fail. You know, that's the whole point of capitalism. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Declare bankruptcy, go on, right? So the 2 biggest reasons why Kentucky coal is going down is because it's dirty coal. It's got lots of sulfur in it. So you have to get, you know, if you don't want sulfur in your coal, you got to get it from Wyoming or some other places. But if you want Kentucky coal, either A, you got to pay the fines. If you're going to have the sulfur that goes up in the sky, then comes down, that's sulfuric acid, sulfuric rain. That's bad shit. I don't want sulfuric acid being rained on me. So either you remove the sulfur through scrubbers, you clean the scrubber, you know, you scrub the sulfur out, get the sulfur out, then you can use that coal, or use, you know, Wyoming coal, or pay the fines. Those are the 3 options that you have. And that's what everybody's bitching about. They're sitting there saying because you have to pay a fine because, what, you want fucking sulfur everywhere? No, fuck you. The reason why you'd have to pay fines is that way you could offset the cost for the damage that you would actually be putting out to the atmosphere. So, yeah, you're going to put sulfur out there, but pay some taxes so that way when people are filing lawsuits and shit, you know, saying that you give them cancer, we'll be able to fucking pay them off. That's the reason why you would want to pay the fines and shit. But right now, that's what Mitch McConnell is sitting there saying. Let's have no regulations. Let's let them fucking spew sulfur over everybody, and let's not have any tax dollars to fucking pay for any of the cancer. We're number 1 for cancer. We're number 1 for heart disease. Number 1 for obesity, the toothlessness, you know, animal abuse, child abuse, prisons. And dumbest, you know, worst with it. Or actually, we're getting better with education, but that's because we're technologically astute. Our young people are fucking geniuses. The dumb are the ones, the old are the dumb, right? The old ones are the dumb ones. So that's the high in sulfur content. Yeah, so those are the 2 reasons. It's dirty coal, so that means there's a higher demand for cleaner coal. But if you can figure out how to get rid of that sulfur easier, then you could actually, you know, turn it into making some decent money. Also, mechanization. So the coal companies, that's another thing. The corporations are, you know, fuck paying people, laborers. Just turn them into a machine. You make a machine, they can do the work, you know, of a laborer. Instead of having to pay them every fucking hour, you got a machine that'll just do the whole damn thing. So that's King Coal. King Coal is fucking, you know, So part of it is the regulation. The other part of it is just sort of, I guess, the natural progress of fucking economics. The labor is too damned expensive. If you can make a machine do the, job of a fucking human, then they're going to do that. So that's the fucking corporate, that's the capitalist doing that shit. So half the fucking reason you could put on the fucking socialistic type of people that say that, these corporations should be regulated, but the other half is the fucking capitalism. They're saying fuck the laborers because that's too expensive. Let's just make some fucking machines. That's why there's less coal miners that's, in Kentucky. The amount of coal miners in Kentucky is only less than 19,000. It's 18,850 as of 2009, which is less than 1% of the total workforce. So most people in Kentucky are not coal miners. In fact, you got more people that's in fast food industry. You got more people that's in the fast food industry than what you do that's in the coal miners. So if you actually want to touch a greater section of Kentuckians, talk about the fast food workers. Unfortunately, Americans are just temporarily displaced millionaires. Everybody dreams and thinks that they're eventually going to fucking make it, but if you're working at some shit fucking, minimum wage job, flipping fucking burgers at some, fast food industry, I respect the shit out of you, and if I want a sandwich or whatever, I'm glad you're there. But you're on the bottom. You're pretty much, that's on the bottom. That's as low as you can fucking go. So you want to talk about the coal miners? They have good jobs, good benefits and shit. It's dangerous work, but they get a good paycheck. The fucking wage, slaves at McDonald's, they can make $8 an hour and have to do a bunch of shit, get disrespect. It's just bullshit. It just sucks all around. So if you want to talk about, the vulnerable people and the working class people that need more help, there's more of. Talk about the fast food industry, but instead it's all about coal. Coal's giving us coal ash pollution, mountaintop removal. They're fucking up our streams. They're polluting everything. Orange water's coming out the spouts. People are drinking Mountain Dew because there's no running water, so they're getting Mountain Dew mouth. They're losing their teeth. Kentucky's bad. There's a lot of fucking bad shit that's going on here. Now, this is 1984, right? So Orwellian, right? This is Mitch McConnell comes in and takes over Kentucky by saying Walter Dee Huddleson wasn't showing up to Congress, so he had the bloodhounds trying to look for him, right? So just a stupid fucking commercial. It's not funny. It's not clever. It's just stupid. It's like, where's Walter Dee Huddleston? Is he over here? Nope, not over here. Is he over there? Nope, not over there. And that's it. Shut the fuck up. But he was able to win because attack ads unfortunately work. People memorize the fucking shit. If you say, I'm going to fight for humanity, justice, and peace, freedom, then, people might remember some of that stuff. But if they, you say, well, I'll fight for all the good things, but that asshole over there, he fucking punches kittens in the face. Then it's like, well, which one's going to stick in your mind more? And even if you say, oh, he shouldn't have said that, that's wrong. But then you're going to walk away with like, wait, but does he punch the kittens in the face? That's fucking shitty. I'm not gonna vote for no fucking kitten puncher in the facer, So that's unfortunately negative attack politics works. That's Mitch McConnell. That's his entire fucking career. It's why he's had to accomplish absolutely nothing because he got in there by being a total fucking shitty dickhead. He's accomplished nothing. What the fuck? He shut the government down, right? He sucks corporate dick. He got us into a bunch of war. He's a corporate whore, so he basically just let the corporations do whatever the fuck they wanted to do and took whatever credit they did. Back in Walter Dee Huddleston's times, here's a bunch of bills that he had co-sponsored or was part of introducing. So these are the issues that Kentucky was talking about, before Mitch McConnell. So what were we talking about with Walter Dee Huddleston? What kind of senator? What kind of discussions? So there's this one. There's just it's kind of a silly one, but a joint resolution to proclaim the month of July 1984 as National Ice Cream Month, and July 15th, 1984 is National Ice Cream Day. So National Ice Cream Day, National Ice Cream Month. Good, that sounds good stuff, right? How can you hate that? He also has the Anti-Hunger Act of 1984, so he's concerned about hungry people. I don't know if that's worldwide or just here in Kentucky. So concurrent resolution, something about the banks. So here he's regulating the banks here, about the farmers and ranchers. A bill to exempt restaurant central kitchens from federal inspection requirements. So I guess small businesses, right, for greasy spoons don't have to listen to the fucking feds. Bill to amend the Agriculture and Food Act of 1981 to provide protection for agricultural purchasers of farm products. Immigration ceiling of 1983. Changing the standing rules. National Mental Health Counselors Week, April 8th. designating that week of April 8th as National Mental Health Counselors Week. We're number one for poorest mental health. So he's sitting there saying that the National Mental Health Counselors Week would be, so he's concerned about this shit. We're talking about hunger. We're talking about mental health. These are issues that Kentucky still has today. But we stopped talking about this shit in 1984 when Walter D. Huddleston was kicked out. And now, I mean, what happened to the Huddlestons? For 30 fucking years, you haven't even heard anything from the Huddlestons. A bill to provide for improvements in the school lunch and certain other child nutrition programs. So he's the Michelle Obama. He was talking about nutrition and school lunch programs way before 30 years before Michelle Obama was. That's Walter D. Huddleston. That's the Democrats were talking about that type of issues in Kentucky. Kentucky's been Democratic for the longest fucking time. Kind of a bad way in the beginning because it's KKK and shit. But it was Andrew Jackson and democracy and care about the regular working class Joes. And then after Civil Rights Act, then the Democrats were for black folks. So, they're for poor whites, then they're for blacks, and now for poor everybody. Why the fuck would you not be for the Democrats? Who the fuck would be a Republican in this day and age? Somebody who's in favor of war, somebody who says, I get all mines and fucks all y'all's. That's, I think you have to be like that, but to be, proud, yeah, we got to care about our self-interest, but anything in excess, greed and fucking narcissism, that's a little too much, right? So, let's see, rural water and waste disposal program, so he cares about the rural water and the waste disposal program, so he's concerned about, poor fucking people, National Ice Cream Day, Rural Electrification and Telephone Revolving Fund Self-Sufficiency Act. So he's getting electric and telephones out to the rural people. This is what the Democrats were fucking doing when they were in the office. But then you get Mitch McConnell, been there for 30 fucking years. Ask anybody who fucking votes for Mitch McConnell, what the fuck has he done for 30 fucking years? I can't. What the fuck? The war? Is that what you're going to brag about the war? So the Iraq war, okay? So Mitch McConnell brought us the Iraq war. 1 million Iraqis are dead. ISIS is, taking over. They're looking at us. That's Mitch McConnell. Thank you, Mitch McConnell, for the fucking Middle East. What else did he bring us? What the fuck else did he bring us? I mean, even the richest person in Kentucky isn't he's public storage. So he's he makes $2 billion or something, or $3 billion. He's the richest fucking man in Kentucky. And storage, I mean, that's a fucking corporate racket, right? Mitt Romney, that's what he does. He goes into an industry, guts it, declares bankruptcy, very capitalistic and shit. The same thing with storage, public storage. I used to work at a storage place in Cincinnati, and the whole thing's a racket. So basically, you're renting a place and then you get kicked out and you say, well, I still like the stuff that I had here, so I'm going to put it in storage and just pay $30 a month, and then I think I can afford $30 a month and just hold on to this stuff. But eventually what happens, you wind up paying more for the time of the storage than what the actual shit inside the storage was worth. So you might have a couch and a bed and shit, but after paying for 2 years, $30 a month, that shit adds up, and you could have bought a brand new bed and not fucked with any of that other stuff. And then even sometimes, even worse, you could have it for 2 or 3 years and miss a payment, and this was the biggest fucking, sort of racket that you could do. Once you miss a payment, you're in breach of contract, lock the shit out, start charging a bunch of fines, just like fucking the banks with the overdraft fees, a fine every day, fine here, fine there, fine there. So by the time that they find out that they even have a fine, or that they even made a late payment, which they was even dicks about, people's checks in the mail. If they got, the check in the mail day after the 2nd or something, they was going to fuck them over. That would have been American self-storage. So they would lock your shit up, and then they would auction it out, and then they would just say adios, and that's how they got rid of you. So you had your shit in there, you paid it for 2 or 3 years, you missed one fucking payment, they auctioned your shit off, now you have nothing to show for it. So you paid more for that shit than what was actually in there, and you didn't even get the shit to begin with. So that's the biggest fucking racket. Motherfucker's a millionaire. That's the biggest millionaire in Kentucky. But that's what, $2-3 billion? There ain't no motherfucking Bill Gates. There ain't no Carlos Slim. There ain't no Warren Buffett. There ain't no motherfucking Waltons, okay? Waltons, I think, was at Missouri or Louisiana. That's who's getting all the fucking Walmart money. Let's get some money for Kentucky. Let's start being Kentuckians for Kentucky. Seriously. KU is going to Pennsylvania Power and Light, Eon.us, and to Germany and shit. We're making all these other countries. 4th Street Live goes to Baltimore, Maryland. So we're paying all these other fucking CEOs and shit to use Kentuckians as cheap fucking labor, to use our resources so they can use it up, use our people as cheap labor to sell our other people, dumb shit so they can fucking get rich and wealthy. we could do the same thing, right? We could also be nicer to each other, and we could do a better job and be enriching ourselves. So it makes no fucking sense to be running shit the way things have been running. Fuck Mitch McConnell. He's a fucking prick. He's proud of being a prick. He's got that videotape. I don't see how any Kentuckian could ever, no self-respecting Kentuckian could ever fucking vote for Mitch McConnell. How the fuck he's been in there for 30 fucking years. I want to find out who's been voting for Mitch McConnell for these last 30 fucking years, because those are the asshole, old, dumb fuck, white supremacists, backwards, hill-jack fucking dipshit fucking Kentuckians that have been fucking my state up for the last 30 fucking years. Fuck them assholes. We need to get Walter Dee Huddleson back. We need to care about all the fucking people. Healthcare. Fuck the bankers. Help the environment. Fuck Mitch McConnell. Vote Allison Lundergan Grimes. She's the lesser of the two evils, right? Yeah, ditch Mitch, I agree with that, and she's way lesser than the two evils. She actually has, half of her is very hope-filled, but she hasn't said shit about the war, prisons, or police brutality, Patriot Act, NSA, so there's a lot of fucking security and privacy and militarization issues. Ferguson, what the fuck do they feel about Ferguson? Allison Lundergan Grimes can put Mitch McConnell's feet to the fire. Just start taking positions on every fucking issue, and that forces Mitch McConnell to take a position on each and one of those issues too. Ferguson, Gaza, there's so many things you could take a fucking stand on, Allison Lundergan Grimes. People would listen to you. People would actually care about what the fuck you say. So, yeah. Talk about the fucking lead. Quit leading from behind. You're a strong woman. Now beat it. You're fucking awesome, Allison. Now be fucking awesome. And fuck Mitch. I don't know. Did I get that point? Has that point been made? Sufficiency. Fuck Mitch McConnell. Fuck my senator, that piece of shit. Fuck Rand Paul for sucking Mitch McConnell's dick too. Jesse Bitten, they sold out. They was against Matt Bevin. You could have had Matt Bevin in there, Rand Paul, but you ain't principled. You ain't like your daddy. You're a goddamn Mitch McConnell dick sucker, and he's sucking coke dick. You're a corporatist. You ain't no libertarian. Fuck Rand Paul. I would vote for Ron Paul for president, not Rand Paul. Fuck that bastard.